Hey guys, welcome back to Devious Devices, doing another Globule number 3 update. I've been hard at work. I've spent actually a lot of time working on the map, but not all of it has been very good for video making, so it's been almost a week since the last update. What I've been doing is spending time trying to figure out the overall layout of the map, the distribution of the different block types, and I was thinking I got out a pad of paper to try to make some sketches and organize my thoughts in the different blocks and what I wanted to do with the map. And then I thought, why don't I do it in game? It'll be more visually appealing to me. Maybe I'll notice some things. So these are a number of diagrams I've been making. They're not to scale or anything. This is just an idea of, well, you start out with dirt in the middle, and then you have to venture out to find wood, for instance. And then you have to venture out further to find stone, and then iron, etc. And I was trying to organize the blocks. So for instance, here's like my first little diagram I made. You start out with dirt, then you've got to venture away from it to find trees, stone, coal, and iron. And I progressed into more and more complex models. I'm only showing you these because they are not spoilers. I've decided to do something fundamentally different. Now this layout here, like some of these are quite similar to what I did in Globule number 2. And what I have in mind is actually quite a bit different from this, so I don't mind showing it to you. I started out, thinking, well, this is about progression of blocks. So you start out with dirt, then you have to go try to find wood. Then you have to go try to find stone, which is this one, I guess. These ones are all blank because I haven't designated them as anything yet. You have to go find coal, which isn't in this one. You have to go find iron and whatnot. And then as I got more and more complex in my little map, I started realizing that there aren't not really that many progression blocks. Or rather, there's a lot more non-progression blocks than there are progression blocks. So, for instance, iron is a progression block. Coal is a progression block because you get torches. That's very important. And you can smelt things and whatnot. I mean, you could use charcoal. Diamond is like the end block. That's the furthest from the center. But then gold is kind of important too because you can make a number of things with that. Golden apples, powered rails, all kinds of stuff like that. Redstone is important. That's sort of another end game material in my mind. But the more I looked at it, the more I thought, my system wasn't really working for me. I wasn't satisfied with it. So I started trying to organize the blocks in different ways and try to think about what I was doing. These nether bricks here, these are the size of the fortresses as you move from the center of the map, which will be just dirt. You'll get tiny little dungeons, and then as you move outward, dungeons get bigger. So I came up with this. So this is a diagram I'm actually pretty happy about because it really helped me. It helped me work through the problems I was having. And so you start out on the dirt, and then there's a tier here, like the first tier of progression, which is wood, stone, coal, and iron. But in between those two, we've got all these different soil types, which are going to lead to different environments, and they're going to have in close proximity the sort of second tier of dungeons, which will be holding farm animals. So all of the friendly animals, cows, pigs, sheep, chickens, as well as probably wolves and cats, you'll have to go into one of these dungeons to retrieve them. I thought that was kind of a neat idea. And then as you proceed beyond the first tier of progression, there's going to be larger dungeons. And then we've got another set of blocks that don't really add to progression. They're more cosmetic for the most part. I mean, you make nether portals with obsidian and ender chests, I guess. So technically you do stuff with it. But for the most part, these are all flavor blocks. And these are similar to those. They're going to provide us with different environments. And within those environments, bigger dungeons. And then here we've got what I'm considering the 7 N-tier block types. Gold, diamond, lapis, emerald, redstone, quartz and glowstone. Uh, lapis is actually, you don't do anything with it except for make pretty blocks. But I consider these to be kind of a type, and I think this organization really makes a lot of sense for me for where I want to go with the map. And in here, actually, I covered up my final version of the map because I don't want you guys to see it. It's going to have too many spoilers in it. There is a fundamental change I've made to the map, or to the way the map is going to work. And those are, I worked on those under here, but I covered them up. So anyway, let's head over to another map I made where we've laid out the new starting area for Globule number 3. So here we are at the mostly finished starting area for Globule number 3. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I showed you this little floating island right here in a previous video, and now I've built a globule area out around it with a similar visual style. I actually used some like building blocks. I made these building blocks down there, and then I basically copy pasted them around so that the landscape would have a sort of a uniform look to it. You can notice that the trees are, oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Let's see, toggle downfall. Stupid rain interrupted my video. I also did the same thing with trees so that the trees are all of a similar size so that there's a uniformity to everything. And I think it looks pretty neat. It reminds me a lot of Super Mario Brothers. Just the way that the landscape is kind of all square. And I guess the trees too remind me of the mushrooms and whatnot. I'm really happy with it. And this is one of the only times in the map, probably the only major time you'll have to do a big bridge like this to get out of here. Once you get beyond this point, there's going to be, at the very minimum, like land bridges for you to walk across to get to the different globule areas. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to give away spoilers, but there is a reason that I decided to make the beginning area like this, where everything is kind of square and simple. That is going to tie into the story for Globule number 3, and I've thought of a way that the way that the globules are built and that the way that the blocks interact when you get into more complicated globules with more different block types, and the way things progress when you get to the outer edges of the entire map, all that stuff, I've come up with sort of a storyline type thing where it's all going to sort of mesh together. I'm really happy with the direction it's going, but I don't want to give away too many spoilers. It will have something to do with the corruption idea I talked about in a previous video where things are sort of corroding and stuff. But this is the beginning area. I don't want to fly too far away from here because I don't want to give you spoilers of what's beyond here. But I wanted to give you guys an update and get some feedback, see what you think of this area. And I actually timed it. This looks like a big divide, but if you just chop down the trees when you spawn here and you bridge straight out, you can get beyond the dirt area of the map within a couple minutes. It doesn't take long. If you want to just sit here and build a house on this floating island for the rest of your life or the rest of your time in Globule, that's fine. But you can also move on to other parts of the map pretty quickly. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And have a good day. Goodbye.